Now, as important as leadership is in business, leadership in your life is even more important. And this has never been truer than it is today. Everywhere we turn, people are confused, they're uncertain, they're frustrated, and even angry. Why? Well, people feel as lost as they do in this country today because of a serious lack of leadership. And people are as confused as they are in this country today from a lack of practical wisdom. And people are as uncertain as they are from a lack of encouragement. And that makes this a really difficult time in which to operate a business or raise a family. So let me ask you an important question. Where will the leadership, wisdom, and encouragement that people so desperately need, where will it come from if it doesn't come from me and you? You know, one of the problems that we have in this country today is that good people like you and like me are reluctant to speak up and to talk about important things that we know are true. We hold our tongues, right? We keep silent. Maybe we're waiting for somebody else to lead the way. Or maybe we feel that the truly important things in life that have the biggest impact, like politics and like faith, well, maybe those issues, well, they're too sensitive. They're too personal for us to talk about. Well, just like you, I don't want to offend anyone. But I find myself wondering just how well our self-imposed silence is working out and what that silence might cost us in the future. Okay, there's a big election coming in this country next year. That election will have enormous consequences for all of our businesses and for our families. I can promise you right now that there will not be one single perfect candidate on that ballot. But there will be significant differences. There will be significant understandings about this country's heritage and what made America great. And there will be competing visions for our country's future on that ballot. So what should we do? Should we keep silent? Should we keep our opinions to ourselves? Or should we share whatever wisdom we might have with the people that we know and the people that we work with? You know, most of us in this room, we understand what made this country strong. We have lived it. We know what works, and we know what doesn't work. And if we don't share that understanding with others, where will they learn it, and how will they ever know? You know, they say we aren't supposed to talk about politics, and we sure aren't supposed to talk about religion. But what if a big part of our country's problems, our economic crisis, our political dysfunction, is a result of the decline that we've had in our nation's moral standards and our practices? Are we still not supposed to talk about that? I mean, I think we can all agree that significant things have changed in our country in the last 20 years. Things that were considered wrong or even sinful just that many years ago are often considered normal and mainstream today. Some folks think those changes have been for the better, and some, including me, do not. You know, I believe that you can draw a very straight line from the decline that we've had in our moral standards to the selfishness and the greed and the recklessness that we see on Wall Street, in Washington, D.C., and in the hearts of so many in our country, including corporate America. And frankly, well, I don't see how we can ever solve that problem if we're not allowed to talk about it. Some of you who know me well know that a few years ago, I gave my heart to Christ. That decision was the single best decision I've ever made in my life. It's making me a better husband, father, friend, and CEO. Being saved by grace does that to you. It changes you from the inside out. And the practical wisdom that I've learned in those short years, just from reading the Bible the way we all used to when we were kids in school and as adults, well, that's helped me gain some real understanding about the differences between what's right and what is wrong. Now, I don't always do what's right, but that wisdom, that understanding is making an enormous difference in all aspects of my life. Those of you who know me best know how far I still have to go on all those fronts. And my best friends like to say that a good goal for me would be to aim for being average. But I was truly lost, just like so many are in this country today. And then I was found. Faith has turned my life around. And I believe that it can turn this country around too. I believe that a return to higher moral standards is exactly what we need in this country to cure our political dysfunction, our economic recklessness, our self-centeredness, our over-reliance on government. Now, I don't know where you are in your journey, and wherever you are, I respect that, and I respect you. But if you believe that we need a higher level of moral standards in this country, if you believe we need to treat each other and operate with greater regard and compassion, if you believe we need to elect politicians who speak the truth and represent the interest of the entire nation, and you don't speak up about that, then who will? And how will people ever know? Thank you. You know, leadership takes courage. You all show that courage in your business every day. Our country needs you to show that courage in your life as well. Every person in this room has a platform. Every single person. Some are big and some are small, but you all have a platform. I encourage you to use it. Stand up and speak up for the sake of your family, your business, and our country. When I started this talk, I talked about AD's heritage and our beginnings. And I'd like to conclude it by sharing with you something that I believe we will all discover at the end of our careers. Over 28 years of being in AD, I've worked with so many great people and members and suppliers, some of whom have long since retired, and I call them from time to time and we catch up. And every single one tells me the very same thing, and let me share it with you. When you are done and you look back on your career, the single most gratifying thing about it all is not going to be the money, and it's not going to be whatever recognition you might have received along the way. The most gratifying thing about your career will be the lifelong friendships that you have made along the way and your positive impact on others. You see, contrary to public opinion, what makes life worth living is not the possessions that we accumulate. There aren't enough things out there to fill the heart of man. What makes life worth living is the positive impact that we have on other people and the legacy that we leave behind. The journey from heritage to legacy is not meant to be taken alone. It takes friends, and it takes faith. So make friends and be a friend. Coach other people and be coached. Encourage people and be encouraged. Those shoulders that we all stood upon when we came into this industry, we need to be those shoulders now. So lift up the people around you. Lift up the next generation. Lead them. Share your wisdom with them. And when you're done, leave them with a strong and independent business to take to even greater heights. Lead, my friends. Connect and grow. God bless you all. Thank you for an amazing 30 years. And thank you for listening.